in the Facebook group as well. So today we're going to talk about how to get your books into bookstores, and I'm going to give away my number one secret on how I've gotten my books in over 20 stores throughout the country, even in states that I never even went in. But first, were you surprised to find out that Old K Wheeler Books was doing a live stream? If you were, put surprise down in the comments. Let's see. Anybody surprised? Anybody surprised? Well, let me tell you something about surprises. Surprises sometimes are bad for the old ticker. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, smash that little bell icon. That way you get alerted whether I'm live or I'm pre-recorded, I'm a hologram. In any way, shape, or form, you'll know where I am and when I am. So subscribing to the channel, it's good for your health. Let's see, we still got Kevin in the chat. Hopefully some of those other people will join us soon. Let's see. Yeah, not completely surprised. I get it, because I did mention it to a few people on Facebook. I didn't go out and tell everybody, but I did post it in the group. The one myth that I wanted to cover first is I've heard a lot of people talk about that they can't get their books in Barnes & Noble because they've gotten a free CreateSpace ISBN. That's not 100% true, because stores don't care per se whether you bought your own ISBN or not. What they care about is, are they going to get a wholesale discount, which is usually about 55%. And then they care about whether those books are returnable, because obviously they have limited space on their shelves. So they want to make sure that if they go out and get your books, that if they don't sell after a certain amount of time, they can send it back and get their money back so they can replace those with other books. The reason why I point that out is because I had a friend of mine not too long ago complain because he bought his own ISBN, published it through CreateSpace, and still wasn't in Barnes & Noble. And that's because whether you buy your own ISBN or not, CreateSpace books are not returnable. So it's a lot harder, if not nearly impossible, to get into Barnes & Nobles and those kind of stores if you go through CreateSpace. Now, you can go some alternate routes, like you can obviously go through Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark, you buy your own ISBN. They also typically will have a setup fee, although quite a few times they'll run specials where they waive that. But then you also get a charge every time you upload something new. But you will be in their catalog, so places like Barnes & Noble can order your books. Also, you can go to lulu.com, and if you select the global distribution option, that will also put you in Ingram's catalog. A third option is to go directly to the warehouse, whether it's Barnes & Noble, or I'm sorry, whether it's Baker & Taylor or Ingram. Go to their website and try to apply for your book to be in their catalog. So those are the three ways to actually get in their catalogs. But once you're in their catalogs, you're still not in their stores. The way to get your books in their stores is to have some friends and family go into the store, the specific Barnes & Noble that you're interested in, and request your book. If they're willing to put a card down and prepay, that's even better. But it has to be more than just one or two people, because if you just do one or two people, they'll just order them as they come in. But if they see 5, 6, 10 people come in at different times and ask for that same book, then they'll consider actually putting it on their shelves. So that's how you can get your books actually on the shelves for that one Barnes & Noble. I'm going to be honest, I don't deal with that. For one, it's a lot, you got to buy your own ISBN if you're going through Ingram, and that's additional money, as well as the time it takes. You're going to be asking your friends and family to do all this other stuff for you, and all for minimal royalties, because obviously you're putting in a middleman. They're wanting the wholesale price, so you're only getting, they're only paying 55%. So there's a lot of things that go against doing that for me. So I actually will do another method, which we'll talk about in a second. And it's not only how I've gotten into 20 different stores in the different states, but it also accounts for a little over 35% of my total book sales is from this revenue channel. But first, let's check out the chat. Hey, Kevin, see you're in there. Looks like the other people didn't. Either they didn't refresh or they are hiding, which is fine. So we're going to talk about next how to get your books into the smaller bookstores, the independent stores. Yeah, they're quiet. To get into independent stores, I know the first thing you're going to think of is your local bookstore. And while obviously you want to go in there, there's a lot more options than just that local bookstore. So first of all, I said you want to do independent stores, not necessarily independent bookstores, because you got to think outside the box. I have journals that are sports themed. So I actually reach out to sports stores, not just in my area, but around, and they're carrying my softball themed journals. I also have them at tournaments and stuff like that. So again, thinking outside the box. But also, if you're doing children's books, which I know a lot of my viewers do, you can reach out to consignment shops, especially ones that tailor more towards the children, whether it's toys or children's clothing, and see if they're willing to carry your books. I have my books in numerous consignment shops. I also have my books in some toy stores. So again, not just bookstores, but toy stores as well. So the question is how do you get them in there? Well, how do you first reach out to them is you can either do it through email, you can do it through phone, or you can do it person to person. Obviously, in person is going to get you better results because it's a lot. People find it harder to say no to someone's face. But I also know that rejection, that risk of rejection has a tendency to kind of scare people away. So I would say then try doing it through a phone call. And worst case, do it through email. But when you do it through email, there's a lot better chance that they're just not even going to respond at all. What do you want to tell them? You want to give them the price. First, you want to tell them a little bit about your book. You want to give them the price. You want to give them their price. And one thing I've found with independent stores is they're willing to do just a 40% for them, 60% for you. So it's a lot more money in your pocket on a per book basis than if you do it through a wholesaler. Then you want to give them their price. You want to give them the sales price. You want to kind of tell them what the target audience is to make sure that it's more in line with what their customer base is. But the one thing that they're really interested in, they're not in the market to stock shelves. They're in the market to sell books. So they want to know what you're going to do as an author to help them sell those books. Hey, the twins are in the house. I can see that. Hey, guys. So you want to see what you can do to help them sell the books. They either want you to bring money into their store or traffic into their store. So are you willing to do author visits? Are you willing to do giveaways? So, those are some of the things that you want to consider and you want to talk to them about. And remember one thing, and that is that just because they say no doesn't mean no. It means not right now. So make a list of the different stores that you contact and write down, if they said no, when you last contacted them. Because as you go on, maybe 6 months from now, if your book is getting awards, if you've gotten a lot more sales, you can reach back out to them and you can have them reconsider your book. Also, if they're on the fence, offer to do consignment. It's a little money out of your pocket, but just do 2 or 3 books and just do it straight from CreateSpace, send it directly to them. And that way they have less chance of saying no because there's really no money out of their pocket. They just have to give a little space in their store. So those are the ways that you can reach out to independent stores. Now, I know I've got you convinced you want to do independent stores, but you also don't want to spend the time on Googling who to reach out to. How do you know that they take independent publishers' books? I'll tell you that in a second. Let me check with the chat. Let's see. The Mickelson twins are here. You're so awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Why be quiet? Why be quiet now? You love me. I love you guys so much. The Super Twins, if you have not checked out their channel, You've got it. Mickelson twins, check them out. Click on their name right there. They, especially when it comes to ACX, they know their stuff, and they blow me out of the water when it comes to ACX. But speaking of ACX, next week's live chat is actually going to be about ACX. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I do to utilize the most out of those free promo codes that you get through ACX. And if you're not getting free promo codes, you need to. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about Audiobook Boom, which is an audiobook promoting site. So that's next week. It'll be, as far as I know, it'll still be the same time. But let's get back into how you can do it the most efficient way. Now, like I said, these independent stores make up a little over 35% of my overall sales for my books. And I do this part-time, so I don't have a lot of time to Google every single one and then call them and find out if they even accept indie books. There is a site that I go to, and I've never told anybody before today, not even my son who actually self-publishes too, about this site. It's called indiebound.org, but don't worry about writing that down. I've actually put a link to it there's a link in the comments, but also if you go to bookstores with an S, .kwheelerbooks.com, it'll bring you right to their site. In the site, you go in and you put in a zip code, and it will tell you, and you can put the distance you want to do. So whether it's a 10-mile radius, a 400-mile radius, whatever you want, and it will list all of the stores in that area that accept indie books. So even if you're overseas, because as far as I know, it only covers stores in the States as well as in Canada. But even if you're overseas, you can still, if you're in London, you can still put in a zip code for Los Angeles and a 400-mile radius and get a list of all the stores. So again, like I said, I have my books in stores in states I've never even been to. You know, I've got them in Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Connecticut, Florida, all over. And again, not just bookstores, but toy stores. In fact, one of the stores that I actually found on that site is a bookstore, but come to find out, it's actually part of a smaller chain. I think there's like 6 or 7 stores. So I got them to carry my 3 books in my Buddy Knows series. And then a week later, I was getting emails from the other stores asking for the same books. So again, you never know what kind of contacts just one phone call will make. So let's check out the chat. And while I'm checking out the chat, how do you think I did? I know there's a little stumbles at the beginning, but how did I do on my very first live stream? If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Tell me in the comments below. Hey, if you think I sucked, let me know. I've got a wife and 4 kids. I am not afraid of getting humbled. So let me know how I'm doing, how I did. And also, if you have a suggestion for a different time and different day for these live streams, let me know in the comments for that too. I mean, this isn't Burger King. I can't guarantee that you're going to get it your way, but I'll take a look and I'll see what I can do. So let's check out the chat. Never heard. Yeah, keeping secret. Hey, my son's in the house. Sean Wheeler, there he is. Yeah, I'm keeping secrets. And so yeah, Sean Wheeler right there. Amazing poet. Let's see. Mickelson, never heard of that. Yeah, there's not a lot of people that have heard of that site at all. Matter of fact, like I said, I don't tell people about it, but I'll kind of lead in and I'll ask people, hey, do you know a place where you can go to find out if they sell indie books? And everyone's like, no, you just got to call them. No, you don't. This site will tell you every site, and it will tell you the store name. It will tell you the phone number, the address, and sometimes we'll even give you the website for that particular store, all in one location. So again, you go to bookstores.kwheelerbooks.com. It'll bring you right there. Let's see. A little earlier would be nice. Okay, Kevin. It's not a problem at all. The site itself is called indiebound.org. But again, you can just go to bookstores with an S at the end, .kwheelerbooks.com, and it will bring you right to that site. So see, Eve's in the house, the twins are in the house, Sean's in the house, Kevin is in the house. Let's see. So, I mean, that was really all I wanted to cover. Like I said, it's a shame that we got a little hiccup at the beginning, but if you have any questions, you can feel free to drop them in the comments. I will answer to the best of my knowledge. If I don't know, I will absolutely tell you I don't know, but I will find out. Again, next week, we're going to talk about ACX, and I'm going to talk mainly about how I get the most bang out of those 25 US and 25 UK codes that you get from ACX. I'll save that for next week. And I'll also tell you a little bit about Audio Book Boom, which is a promotional site for your audio promo codes. So if nobody has any other questions, then we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna say once again, thank you so much for coming to my very first live stream. Hopefully next week it's a lot smoother. Until next time, I'm Keith Wheeler, and remember to write right.